welcome to the Spoiler Corner, the corner where we spoil things. You have been warned, there are no filters here. Again, I'm just gonna start off this video with, this book is violent. Like, dude gets his face torn half off, like Two-Face Harvey Dent off at the beginning, and then loses his nose later. Like, I'm telling you, this character, Aaron, is like, he's the disturbed one. He's the creepy guy who will not leave them alone, and it's very unsettling. Oh my gosh, like the descriptions of him and the injuries that this guy sustains, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is what nightmares are made out of. Like Patrick Ness, no chill whatsoever when it comes to these descriptions of Aaron's face. So over here in the spoiler corner, we're actually going to talk about something that I didn't mention in my other video because, and it's not because I didn't want to give people warning about it. I will give a warning about it now, but it's just that it is a little bit of a spoiler, I felt like. So there is a dog character in this book. And as typical of dog characters in many books and films, this dog character does die about 2/3 into the way of the book. I was a little bit heartbroken. I really was. Because the way that the noise works in this book is that you not only hear the thoughts of men, but animals have thoughts too. So you hear the noise of the animals. So the dog, Manchi, he talks. And you get to know him as a character. And he's just this sweet little, brave little dog, and it's just, oh, it's just so sad. It is really sad, and I was like, oh, this is rough. You know, I'm not a dog mama, but I'm a cat mama, and so just like thinking of my babies being in that position, I was like, oh, hell no. You get that feeling of dread before it happens, and you're like, oh, this is not gonna end well. This is gonna go terrible. This is gonna be horrible. You were constantly like just dreading it. And then it happens. So it'll be interesting to see too if they keep that for the movie, because the dog is in it. Manchi is in it. So I will be very interested to see if they keep that in there and how they do it, because it's not graphic in the book, but it is gut-wrenching and heart-wrenching. And you kind of just need to put the book down for a second and be like, okay. And when it happens, you do genuinely feel for Todd and Viola, both of them, because they both really do like this dog and adore this dog, and he is such a good boy, and it is a sad moment. I think the saddest moment in this entire book is when Manchi dies, so there's a spoiler for you. And as I mentioned in my other video, you can kind of guess what the twist is going to be. Again, but that's like halfway through the book. You already have like gone on half of this journey with Todd and Viola. You can sort of start making your own conclusions based off of what's been presented to you. And even at the end, you don't get like the full story. You only get part of it. And because this is the spoiler corner, I can say what happened was when the Spackle released the germ, or when they claimed the Spackle released the germ, they said that it killed all the women. It did not kill all the women. There are multiple towns that the other characters go to where there are women living and thriving. What happened is that in Prentice Town, which is where Todd was from, the men kind of started going nuts, as you do, because they couldn't hear the thoughts of women. And so as a result, they ended up killing all the women in that town and separated themselves from the other towns. So they basically Todd grew up in this town where he was told that all the women had been killed by this germ, and that it had been released by the Spackle, and that the Spackle were evil, and that there was this whole war and everything. And of course he finds out that it's all a lie, that women are still alive other places, they're fine. And then like that Prentice Town has actually been preparing for this whole like invasion. Like they've had a whole invasion plan of these other, of these other towns that are scattered throughout this new world. That whole twist is not really revealed to you until like the very end. I mean, you sort of start getting like inklings of what had happened, you know, you start getting hints, and you're like, but you're kind of with Todd, and that, you know, he's kind of in denial, like, no, that's not what happened, you know, because he's only been told one thing, he doesn't know anything else. So he's very much like, no, that didn't happen. And you kind of find yourself agreeing with him, because you're like, how could a town rally together and simultaneously commit the murders of your mothers, daughters, sisters, wives, grandmas? Like, how do you do that? You know, and so you are sort of in denial with him, that you don't want to believe that the people of the town you grew up in are capable of that level of evil. But they are. And here we are at the end of book 1. Like I said, this book does not shy away from the dark. It is dark, 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 dark. It's like watching a DC movie, but the lights are on, because most of it takes place during the day. It's also really easy to forget that the characters in this book are about 14 years old. Todd thinks he's 12 and that he's going to be turning 13 soon, but Viola comes into the picture and she does the math and she's like, no, dude, you're 14. And he's like, no, I'm not, I'm 12. And I'm like, dude, trust me, I think you want to be 14. You don't want to be 12. Being 12 sucked, at least for me. But it's really easy to forget that they are teenagers because so much crap happens to them. They are constantly getting injured, chased, attacked. You know, there's just so much that happens to them that it's like, I forgot that you are a child. This is happening to a child. I mean, the book ends. It's a spoiler corner, y'all. No filter. The book ends with Viola stabbing Aaron, the half-face guy, stabbing Aaron in the neck. And then literally moments later, she gets shot. So it's like, like, these are children. They go through a lot in this book, but you never forget that these two are human. You never forget that they're kids. Every outburst they have, every argument, every conversation, every quiet moment, it definitely feels like something someone in their situation would have. You know, obviously, it's not going to be realistic because, you know, their realistic is going to be way different than our realistic. So in the context of the story, the emotions that they have are very realistic. And the fact that they're kids doesn't shy away from that, you know? And I just say that because I would have to remind myself throughout the book, I'm like, they are 14, which is funny because they clearly look like they're supposed to be like 18, 19, 20 in the movie, but I know movies do that because, you know, child labor laws. But again, I did really, really, really love this book. I'm really excited to read the second one. I am a little bit scared to read the second one because they have basically been captured. Like, that's the other thing too, is that they went on this whole journey only to find that the place that they were supposed to go to be safe has been taken over by the people. And so I'm like, so it literally ends with Todd on the ground with Viola in his arms bleeding out, and they're literally been captured. And I'm like, no! I'm really scared to see what's gonna happen in the second book. Like, I'm 99% sure that Viola is going to live. It would be kind of weird if she didn't. I'm so scared to read the second book because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna bite the bullet this time. Or, well, bite the bullet. No, bite the bullet means get it done. Kick the bucket. There we go. Let me get my sayings straight. So I am extremely nervous to read the second book, but I'm also really excited. I really want to read the second book. I need to go buy the second book. To the bookstore! So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little spoiler corner. If you have read Chaos Walking, I assume you know what happens, or if you were just curious and now still want to read the book, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know. I'm always happy to talk books with y'all. I am really excited for this, and if y'all are excited for the movie, go ahead and let me know in the comments as well. I'm very excited for the movie. I just love movies, so hopefully it somewhat lives up to the standards, but we shall see on January 21st, something like that. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that like button, and ring that bell, and I will see y'all next time for another video. Bye!